Q1FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rishabh Barar from CDR India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this call to discuss the Q1FY22 earnings for Suven Pharmaceuticals. We have with us Mr. Venkat Jasti, the Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Venkat Raman Sundar, Vice President Corporate Affairs, and Mr. Subba Rao, the CFO, Suven Pharmaceuticals. Before we begin, I would like to mention that some statements made in today's discussion may be forward-looking in nature and may involve risks and uncertainties. Documents relating to the company's performance have been mailed to you earlier. I now request Mr. Jasti to share his perspectives on the performance and outlook. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to everyone. Thanks for tuning in for our Q1 fiscal 22 results updates. As you know, as mentioned in my communication, that things are moving smoothly, even with some kind of problems like logistics and some raw material increases and all that stuff. And on year-on-year basis, even though there is a 10.5% growth in the income, but profitability is flat. It's mainly due to the additional cost due to the increase in some of the raw materials, and also the logistic problems and the doubling of the transportation costs. And also this quarter, we also have the yearly increments for the employees. Okay. In addition to the product change mix, which also plays a part in the profitability. And that is in general. The consolidated has gone up by 15% on the profitability side. And that's mainly due to the rising contribution, additional contribution. And as far as the capex is concerned, the old capex of 320 crores, we have almost spent about 310 crores. Another 10 crores will be spent this month, this quarter. And we had to capitalize about 100 crores of the projects, which will be done before, I think, September. So with that, the old capex will be completely consumed. The new capex of 600 crores is for 3 years. And we just started the activity in finalizing for one of the units since we have paid all the drawings and all that stuff. And we started spending some money this quarter, so nothing much in the last quarter. So as I said, the 600 crores will be spent over a period of 3 years. And I will give you an update for the next time based on this, the progress of these projects. And in the formulation side, there are 13 total filings. Out of them, 7 are approved. Out of them, 6 are launched. And 7 more to get, 6 more to get approved, and based on the approval, we will be launching. And 2 to 3 will be launched within the next 6 months. In addition to that, we will be filing another 4 to 6 compounds during the year. And customer interactions are still on the Zoom-only mode. There is no direct contact. But the progression of the molecules that are in the pipeline are going good, even though not much incremental thing is happening on the additional projects, but things are going good, and we expect 10 to 15% growth overall for the year fiscal 2022 compared to last year. So I think I'll stop at that, and I will take questions so that I can answer focused way. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Piyush, an investor. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. So this is an individual investor. I have been investor in Suven for last now 12 years. This is year 12. Obviously, the journey has been fantastic over the last so many years. And I've seen this company from a very conservative company to a very aggressive company, transforming itself in the last maybe 3 to 4 years. So all well done. I just wanted to check one thing, Mr. Jasti. I think this company is still sort of a single-man show, which is you. Now I know your daughter has taken over the U.S. operations. So I wanted to check with you, what is the succession plan at Suven? Have you drawn out any plan for that?
Yes, Piyush, and we are looking for actually the new management to come into the picture. We are in the plan, and because of this COVID, the movement also curtailed. We thought of taking a COO, which you cannot move from US to here. And we are also looking at a professional CEO to run this place, and it's hard to get people with a long-term vision and all. And I think another 3 to 4 months we'll have a pretty good plan, because as of April 1st anyway, we need to have the new non-executive chairmanship and CEOs and all that stuff. By that time, I think we will have somebody in place. That is our plan as of now. But nothing is settled yet.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, and all the best.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aejas Lakhani from Unifi Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. Thanks for taking our question. So last time you had informed us there are about 3 phase 3 candidates in pharma CRAMS, and one of them could see a commercial launch in the next 12 to 18 months. I want to understand any incremental updates, or does the status remain?
As of now, no information from the customer that these are ready for a launch or anything like that, because still they are waiting for the phase 3 results. I mean, it's not finished yet, and I think it will be, last time I said 12 to 18 months. It's not only 3 months since we talked. So it can happen, but we don't know yet, because usually we know around 6 months ahead of time, but so far we have not heard anything, the movement forward.
Is there any new addition to phase 3 from your phase 1 and from your phase 2 segment? Has there been any new addition to phase 3?
Yeah, some of the compounds moved into the phase 3, and we are not sure. I think it will take at least 24 to 30 months before we can see any activity. 2 of the compounds has moved into the for the same indication, but 2 intermediates has moved into the phase 3.
Got it, sir. So on the spec chem side, you had mentioned last quarter one new launch took place. One new commercialization took place. last quarter, and another one is in the development phase. Any updates on that, sir?
Development takes at least 2 years, sir. At least 2 years. So it's nothing. If everything goes well, it may be end of 2022.
Okay. So the new commercial opportunity that we had from last quarter, do you see that to grow well in order to have a growth in Spec Chem segment, or would it be a very flattish year for the Spec Chem segment?
Yeah, I think there will be maybe, as I said, around 5 to 10% growth is possible with this new edition. Because the first one is a generic one now, so you need to take cognizance of the fact. So certainly it will be in the same range, but there is a possibility for 5 to 10% growth in possibility. Okay.
And sir, on the ANDA side, just clarification, you said that you would look to file 4 to 6 new ANDAs this year. Is that right? That's the target?
But 4 to 6, yeah, we will be filing new ones.
New filings for the. Anything has been filed, sir, in the first quarter?
No, not yet.
Okay, got it, sir. And lastly, on the Rising Pharma, do we have any specific updates? Because this quarter the profitability has been quite high. So, is there any updates? Do you see the same trend continuing for this year?
I think it's very difficult to tell in the business, but as and when it comes in, we'll take it into this consideration. But in general, it looks good. It looks good, but it can change quarter on quarter. Sometimes now in one quarter it may go up, but the next quarter it may be slight down. But year on year, yes, there is a growth, about 10% to 15%.
Got it, sir. And on the capex, the line was a little blurry initially. So out of the 600 crore capex, the first phase will have 300 crores. Is that the plan, sir?
The 600 crores capex is just started in the sense it's for 3 years. And one of the plans, we have finalized all the plans and we have started implementing this quarter only. So it will run about 12 to 15 months at least for this one. The second one will be initiating in another 4 to 6 months now. Similarly, total 600 crores will be spent within 36 months.
Yeah, got it, very clear. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abdul Qadir Puranawala from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. So just wanted to confirm, in your phase 3, now there are 5 molecules or there are 3 and the 2 what you were discussing was something what you mentioned in the last call as well? Or this is apart from it?
This is a addition of 2 intermediates for the same molecule. I mean, molecule end product will be one, but there are 2 separate intermediates I will be making it. That is what we have received the order, and I will be supplying them.
Sure, sir, understood. And sir, can you throw some light on the earlier capex what you've done on Vizag plant? So what are your plans, and by when would we see the Vizag unit start contributing to the top line?
It is already contributing since 2015, and it's an additional block we have done. That also half of it is capitalized and already started contributing with the new ACM product coming in and some of the intermediates coming in. So it's already contributing.
All right, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Cinderella Thomas Carvalho from Centrum Broking Limited. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hello, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So I just want to understand, you mentioned in the higher cost. Can you just help us understand how is the view right now?
Your voice is breaking up.
Is this any better?
A little better. Please proceed.
Yeah. So regarding opening remark, you highlighted that there have been some inflation in the cost which have kind of impacted this quarter's margin. So what is the view over there right now? Do you see them coming off? We understand that there are higher logistic costs around, but what is the sense that we have as we proceed in this quarter and going ahead?
I mean, there is still continuing this problem. It is not only the cost gone up, also the availability of the vessels is another problem, and it's taking time to ship the materials. I mean, we will have more inventory lined up with us. And the raw material prices also on and off going up, and of course, first quarter it has roughly about 15% of total. I mean, it is not attributable to one, it is more than one compound. So things are not, I mean, they are still in the same range, but looks a little bit better now. Recently we got the vessels available, and similarly some of the raw materials price also coming down a little bit. The problem is these things which we cannot guess estimate, because one shortage in China, even Indian supplier is increasing the price by twofold or threefold, sometimes fivefold. So that's where we are getting into trouble. That's part of the things, but if it is continuously, then we can ask for the customer to help us. But if it is going on and off in a quarter-on-quarter basis, then it is very difficult other than to absorb the cost. That's what you have seen it. That's why the profitability is almost flat.
That's very helpful, so we understand, because we just wanted to understand your sense that how it is progressing. So thank you for that. And so just on the CRAM side of our business, we've been doing exceedingly well. And you mentioned about 2 more incremental intermediate addition in the phase 3. Do you see any in terms of our position, in terms of our market share going ahead, or our relations rather than market share? Our relations are helping us gain more contracts. How should we look at it? Because this business is performing well ahead of our expectations. It did well last year also, and it continues to perform well.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the traction is much better compared to the olden days, but at the same time, as you know, the success of the molecule in the clinical trials gives us the more revenues. Just because the number of products available doesn't mean, I mean, it needs for us to have a growth, no doubt about it. But mainly the success of the molecule is the one that gives us the growth and the continual growth when it goes launching. When it comes to the customers, yes, they're all there, and they're based on their. See, what happened is, if you see last 1 year, this COVID situation has changed some of their plans. Everybody is repurposing some of their pipeline molecules and concentrating more on the COVID. Even then, the existing pipeline is giving us a good traction for us. That's why it could be successful in getting that growth, whatever. I mean, it's not a big growth like other companies, but it's still we are getting a growth. So when will this change? When the new other things will come? I mean, when it comes also, there will be a gap of 2-3 years before you see any revenue, good revenue growth. Until that time, it is going to be a normal 10-15% growth. Yes, I see the traction, and hopefully this COVID will end, and then we'll have many more outside of the projects coming out of the COVID situation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And sir, thanks for a very detailed annual report also. Very good explanation on the CAPEX plans and everything. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is in the line of Sanjay Satpathy from Amarsan Capital. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, sir. You've given this segmental performance in which the only segment that has seen a decline is your specialty chemical This is a segment where you had actually launched a new product in the fourth quarter. Now you've given some explanation. Can you please help us, why, despite new product launch, you're not really that positive about that segment?
I never said I'm not positive about it. But the one thing you have to understand is a molecule which is there for the last 15 years now become a generic, and that does not grow. That's why we're saying it's a flattish growth. When you are adding a new product, these are the very niche molecules in small volumes only. So you don't get day one. By the time it gets market potential, it takes 2-3 years at least before full potential of the molecule comes. And we launched. Launch means you don't get all in one quarter itself. So it will be spread over a year we are supplied. So as I said, if you take into consideration a new addition and also take into consideration the generic slowdown on that, we are still saying certainly the same number, but at least 5 to 10% possibility is there. So we are not negative on it. It is a fact. It is the way the cycle runs.
Understood. And so it looked like your guidance factors in much better kind of prospect for your CDMO business, which possibly is your most profitable segment. And on the back of that, you've given a guidance that your margin should be stable in fiscal 22. Though one could probably expect some kind of a positive surprise, but you have given some comments about the cost structure. My question here is that will the traction in the CDMO have something which will help it sustain the growth for a couple of years to come? And the other thing is that with your capacities which you have put in and the generic issue which is behind you, so can we expect your growth momentum to accelerate after fiscal 22?
It's always a possibility. Even it can happen in fiscal 22 also. See, the thing is, it's all the success of the molecules for which we are supplying intermediates at the clinical trial level. That gives us the growth. And if more projects move into phase 2 to phase 3 and phase 3 to launch, that will already certainly give you a leg up, and then that will give you certainly the continued growth in the CDMO business. And we expect with a better traction, even though the growth will be less in the beginning, as the success of the molecule in the clinical trials is positive, then your growth is much better. But that you cannot. This is a 0 to 1 game. And any discovery, development, until launch, we cannot have anything. It's only the hope. Based on the hope, I cannot give a guarantees.
Understood. So just to kind of point out that after March quarter result, you were not really willing to give a guidance, and now you have come up with 10 to 15%. Hopefully by end of quarter 2, everything will be fine, and we will hope to see much better commentary about growth. Thanks a lot, sir.
Hope so.
Thanks. That's from my side.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Darshit Shah from Nirvana Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir, and thanks for the opportunity and a good set of numbers in this kind of environment. So my question, I was not very clear. You said we are planning to get a CEO from US and also a new CEO to join in next 4 to 6 months. Did I hear it correct?
I did not say next 6 months they will be joining. I said you will have an idea where we are in such as a CEO and the succession planning. And that's what our intent is. We are working hard, and hopefully by next 6 months the COVID also changes, and then we have many more opportunities in planning properly, including a professional CEO.
Got it, sir. And on another question in respect to our transition, which we spoke earlier from intermediates to API. So, sir, how is the traction going on there? Is there any incremental thing that being updated?
Actually, when I said this a couple of years ago, it takes 2 to 3 years before you see any opportunity comes in this picture, because they have to do a lot of due diligence and validation by different departments, because they are different departments in the same companies. But unfortunately, the last 1.5 years, nobody is coming out. For this kind of activity to take place, they have to actually physically come down and visit you and interact with you people and see the facilities and all that stuff. Even though we are there with them for a long time and supplying a lot of intermediates, but this is a different ballgame or different people. So it's not that going fast, but at the same time, the discussions are going on. Somehow, paperwork is being exchanged and all that stuff. But it's not as we thought it will happen. But it's going into a positive direction anyway.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sonal Gupta from L&T Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning, sir, and thanks for taking my question. Like you mentioned in your in some of your comments that basically you've got 2 more intermediates for the same molecule, which is in phase 3. Can you give us what are the total number of molecules that you have in phase 3?
5.
I'm sorry, sir?
5.
5 molecules. Okay. And sorry, I didn't catch it clearly. So our full year guidance is for 10 to 15% revenue growth for the year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so great. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question, may please press star and 1. The next question is on the line of Sapna Jawar from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So I wanted to understand that, of the so many chemistries that we work, which are the ones that we have the expertise and, there are no competitors that can beat us in terms of, in terms of processes where we have a competitive edge. If you can name those or highlight, our positioning over there, and whether we have added any newer chemistry-led technology in the past few years through which we can attract new customers, be it in the CDMO or the SpecChem segment. And I do believe that, in the last few Concalls, you have also alluded to something of green and clean technology. Is that right? And have we taken any initiatives on that front? Thank you.
Yeah, it comes to this technologies or chemistries. What are the specialties? Yeah, okay. As you know, we are not specializing in one chemistry because we do everything on a campaign basis, and I think the number of projects we do, nobody else will do, because like APIs, they'll be concentrating on 10, 15, 20 APIs, but every month we have 5 new processes we will be doing it. Except phosgenation and fluorination, we dabbled into each and everything. I cannot say I'm a specialist in only one technology like fluorine and everything like that, but we are specializing in each and everything from gram level to the kilo level to the multi-ton level. Only the opportunity comes in when the success of the molecule that happens in the clinical trial. So I'm not a specialist in anything, but we do each and everything except fluorination and phosgenation. We have dabbled into these chemistries. And with respect to the new technologies, we are in the process of developing new technologies for the existing molecules using the flow chemistry, so that it will be environmental friendly and also safety aspects that is taken care of. That's what we are trying to do, and hopefully we'll have some success there.
So, any specific guidance, that how much investment will go in these newer technology development?
It's not that much necessary, madam. It's only a part of the activity which we will be doing that, and we'll be spending about in this new what do you call this 600 capex. Out of that, 50 crores is allotted for this new technologies.
Understood. Sure. So, another question, on the CDMO pharma space now, we do have approximately some 3-4 molecules which are commercialized over here. Can we get a sense, a division that how much revenues are coming from our commercialized set of molecules, and what portion does comes from the pipeline, under development molecules? And also, is there a factor of seasonality that we have seen in our commercialized molecules, that a particular time in the period when the offtake is much better?
See, as far as the mix is concerned, it keeps changing, and 1 month the number one customer may be number best customer next month, because there is a campaign basis. So we have dispensed away giving out the breakup on this, because it's not giving any true value. Because if you see one product, I said this is giving you this much, and everybody is expecting the same thing to continue. It is not so in this fast business. So there is no fast, rule that this will give you this much and that's guaranteed and all that stuff. We cannot say anything like that. With respect to what is the other question?
No, the same commercial.
Oh, okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is in the line of Saumil Kothari from Unique Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. This is Sunil Kothari. Good morning, this is up.
How are you, sir?
Hi. Sir, just there is no some question, but because investor community and it is asking for succession plan, but the way you create.
Mr. Kothari, sir, your voice is breaking up. Hello. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, your voice is breaking up.
I'll try again. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Kothari, are you able to hear us?
Clearly.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead with your question.
Sir, my point is that I created this thought process, and you have really good.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Kothari. May we request that you return to the question queue? We are unable to hear you. Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is on the line of Purvi Shah from Kotak. Please go ahead.
Yes, good morning, sir. And so I wanted to ask about two things. One is that if you could also help us with your guidance for the margins that we could maintain for the year. And the second is with the COVID third waves across US and Europe, how do you see this impacting on the orders and the raw materials is what I would like to know.
I think the margins for this year, I am confident that we will maintain the margins because, as you know, our visibility is only so much, so I can give you that much. I cannot tell you for the next year and all that stuff. When it comes to the raw material prices, it's beyond me because I cannot tell whether it will stay same or not. It all depends on the COVID situation and also the Chinese situation, whatever you can call it. What is the third one?
So, but are we experiencing any delays in the orders or the pickup?
As I said, whatever the existing pipeline, I think the orders are on hand always right on time, 3 to 6 months ahead of time they send it to us. So far, I don't see that. So that's why I told you in the beginning itself, the traction is very good for the existing molecules, but the new things, not that many are coming, even though there are some new things are happening because everybody is concentrating on the COVID situation right now. Right. But I hope that will be sooner than later.
Yes. So can I take the liberty of asking you for a molecule in Suven Life Sciences?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, just wanted to an update on Suven 502, what's happening on that front and where are we and what's the current status of it?
Just now we received a communication from the FDA that the protocol which we have developed for the agitation and aggression can go ahead, and we're going to start recruiting patients starting September.
Right. Okay. And so we've been also been hearing that we've been in talks with a couple of other companies for taking up this forward. So if you could just shed some light on that.
See, in the discovery, especially in the CNS field, which is the highest attrition rate, unless you have a proof of concept that is a phase 2 success, not many people will enter into the negotiations. After that, you don't have to go. Not many people will show up at your doorsteps. So this is what the tricky situation, catch-22 situation we have. But at the same time, we are in touch with three partners. This is always going on, but whether that will go into the opportunity of aligning with themselves or collaborating with them is only time will tell. Right now, discussions are going on, but nothing serious about it.
Sure. Thank you, sir, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jeevan Patwa from Candy Floss Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations, sir, for much better numbers. I just want to understand how much is the number on the formulation side. So we have already 6 molecules in approval stage, and we have already launched 6 molecules. So how much we are getting from the formulation side, the contribution?
No, we have not split, as such, we are not providing the split information of these formulations. We have been giving the total information of formulation and others. It keeps changing. It's about 25 crores for this quarter. That's what we have achieved.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abdul Qadir Puranwala from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the follow-up. So just wanted to understand your phase 1 and phase 2 pipeline. Do we see any molecules which is moving more from phase 2 to phase 3 in the near term, and how exactly the movement could be in the near term?
We have just informed you that 2 molecules, 2 intermediates for the same molecule which you have been working on have moved into phase 3. Earlier, we had about 3 phase 3 projects. Now we have 5 phase 3 projects.
Yeah. So my question was particularly on the phase 2 side. So are we having further more molecules which should move in phase 3 or likely to move in phase 3 maybe another 1.5 year sort of a duration?
No, that's you don't get that kind of the phase 2s and phase 1, they keep changing every time. 10 to 15% of the phase 1 goes down, and then 10 to 15% will be added. Similarly, in the phase 2 also, but the movement also happens in the same range. But phase 2 to 3 is only the good growth potential, whereas phase 1 to 2 will not be that much of a potential in terms of the volume growth.
Awesome. And so just one more question on the formulation side. So out of the 6 what you launched and whatever have been pending and been filed with the FDA, so have we partnered for all those molecules, or those will be partnered once we get an approval from the US FDA?
No, all are partnered only. All are partnered only with the 5 different customers.
Sure, sir. Understood. All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sunil Kothari from Unique Investments. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. Are you getting my voice, sir?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Sir, I wanted to convey is being long-term investor with you. What I observe is the way you manage this organization to groom and grow. You have team since long, like Venkat is with you since long. You have many people in R&D. So will it be advisable to just appoint a professional CEO, or it will be under your guidance and supervision and the leadership, this organization will go on? I would like to understand your thought process around this.
My purpose is different than the investors' thinking. They think that maybe they expect naturally. I do expect some kind of a change that has to happen because the guidance will be there. I mean, I'm not going to go away until I go away fully. But the only thing is running the business and bringing the new ideas. I mean, everybody has their own idiosyncrasies. I mean, I may be running one way and somebody may come and do the other way. But if it is a positive way, being in the background, I can let it go. And if it's a negative way, it's affecting the company, then I can advise them to stop it. So they will have the advantage of whatever the things which we have been doing all these 33 years. And but at the stage you need to give the new blood, and especially when some professional people with a long-term vision and for the growth of the company is available, we should take it. But it's very hard to find such people. That's what we are waiting for it. That's why delays are happening.
Great, sir. Great. Because it will take very, I think, difficult for somebody to come to your place and match this your ability. But I think you have enough internal team also who is executing so good performance. So wish you just good luck, and please carry on with your ability, whatever you are doing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Gagan Thareja from Kotak. Please go ahead. Gagan, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, Gagan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So good morning, sir. So first question is around the 600 crore capex that you planned. If you could give, a split of how much is it going to be in terms of incremental addition to capacity, and how much for replacing the old block and the old R&D unit?
As I have mentioned, it is a three-pronged approach. One is for the rebuilding a new block in the Suryapet plant, which is roughly one-third of the money, 200 crores. And one is for the relocation of the R&D center, which anytime it can happen because there are a lot of calls for them to move all the units inside the ORR to outside the ORR. That's why we have planned. And that's about 150 crores to start with. Another one is going to be another block in Pasha Mailaram, which is roughly about 175 to 200 crores. So that will be the additional thing that, the capacity. All others are only old one refurbishing, as you could see, relocation. And that will be, I think we will be starting that activity sometime in the end of the year. And that will run for 18 to 24 months. So before 36 months, everything will be done.
And what would be the approximate utilization of your current capacity, if you could give some ballpark number around that?
110% in the sense, as you know, we don't have a same item manufactured day in, day out where I can tell you my capacity utilization properly. But when we are changing 5 to 6 products on a campaign basis every month, I will not be able to utilize all the equipment. So there are some vacant equipment, certainly it will be there. If you come and see it, you may see 20% of the equipment are vacant. But at the same time, I cannot utilize those 20% of the equipment for a new product because it requires a balancing equipment. And by the time I get the balancing equipment, my campaign is over. So one way, if I want to put a new product, I may need to wait for a while. And but at the same time, when you see the facility where you are not utilizing 100%, you may ask. But because of this nature of the campaigns which we do, it's always fully utilized. Very rarely you will see any empty. Anything which is utilizable, not able to utilize. No, not like that.
Okay. And the 200 crore additional capacity investment, it commissions 24 months or 36 months down the line?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so just a clarification around the capacity bit. While my thought process here might be technically naive because I don't understand the production process well.
It's not directly correlatable to the capacity I created to the volume I generate. Because these are all, as I said, the campaign-based products. Some requires a huge capacity and less revenue, but sometimes some of them requires less capacity and better bottom line and all that stuff. Unlike generic products or commodity products, you cannot correlate with the capacity to the the revenue growth. But there will be certainly revenue growth, and the value addition will be there. And also the cost of these blocks are so high is because of the various new things which the customers wants us to implement it for their new projects that are coming in, because there are all the projects coming from the drug discovery program. Since they don't have any of those long-term safety toxicology, even the regular molecules they think is a OEL4, OEL5 facilities. So we have included all those things into that consideration. So the value creation will be much better than the volume creation. That's where we go in general.
Yeah, I get your point. And so you have in the past also sort of alluded to to trying to expand your canvas into APIs, with backward integration, and obviously you're already into formulations. So if you could maybe give some idea of your thought process for a 5-year time span, as to where do you want to see Suven in a decade's time or 5 years time, from a strategic point of view?
We have wishes to have 3 to 4-fold growth and all that stuff, but at the same time, in this business model, it's a success-based activity rather than the success. Making the product is not a big deal for us, but success of the molecule at the clinical trials only gives us the continued growth and all that stuff. So we hope it will be doubled for sure in 5 years' time, but it can happen in 3 years also. It can happen if there is success in the customer success leading us to the commercial launches and all that stuff. So it's very difficult. We have the hopes and we are working towards that, but at the same time, it's all linked up to the success of the pipeline molecules which we are working with the innovators.
Yeah. Many thanks and wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Karthikeyan from Suyash Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, good morning to both of you. First, of course, fantastic annual reports are very transparent and very elaborate, so very helpful that way. So one question on the R&D pipeline of innovator pharma companies. What has been the impact of COVID on this? Has there been any, there should be pent-up demand, if I may use the term loosely. Do you anticipate that happening once travel restrictions go and things open up? How exactly are you thinking about that, sir? Any thoughts on that? Any insights will be helpful.
I cannot estimate what will happen and when will this end also. So it's very difficult for me to guess. As I said earlier, for the existing molecules, the vaccine is very good, continuation is good, success is also relatively good. Things are moving good, but when will from their end, what will happen and when we'll get the opportunity, it's very difficult to tell. As of now, everything looks good for the next 10 to 12 months.
Yes, but what I meant was because part of the R&D focus was shifted to COVID-related issues and all that. Has there been a deferral? Would you have some inputs from your clients on that side? Is it like they're saying we will wait for another 6 months? Has there been any conversation along those lines? That is what we're trying to understand.
Yeah. Conversation when we're asking about what's happening to the pipeline, that they said it's on hold. And when it will come, they themselves don't know because everybody is concentrated on priority for now. So it's they are not also sure of it.
Okay, but it is not like there is a realignment of supply chains at all. I'm hoping not, of course.
That's true.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much and best wishes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Aejas Lakhani from Unifi Capital. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So last quarter, when the EBITDA margins fell to 38%, you had highlighted that most of your relationships are very strategic in nature, and any increase in raw material costs or other costs it's not like an immediate pass-through, but it will happen only if the cost pressures sustain. So the current quarter, we have reported 45% type of EBITDA margins. So does that mean you have taken a decision to pass on the costs?
No, I didn't say that because the next quarter I'm not putting the same product. So how can I take the cost? I mean, these are a campaign. Once we order the materials, it is a campaign itself. We order material. We don't have a campaign that goes on months and months and months. It's only a 2-month, 3-month campaign, right? So that will be end there itself. So what we are saying is with the softening of some of the things compared to what was going up, now at the plateau level or slightly slowing down, as we said, with the existing pipeline molecules, we thought we have a good potential to maintain the EBITDA margins.
Okay, so this is completely on account of the product mix that you're guiding, nothing to do with pass-throughs.
Yes.
Got it. And the second one, sir, on the ANDAs, you had always clearly told us that ANDAs should be viewed as a moderate growth in revenues, but the profit contribution would be quite high. So from that perspective, we also had Suven as a company had an aspiration that by FY23, the 1/3 of the profits would come from the ANDA business. So we are in FY22 now, and we are at a $4 million type of quarterly run rate. So maybe we are around $16 to $20 million revenues this year. Do you see the potential going up in FY23 itself, or it is more a range? FY23, FY24, 1/3 of the profits would come from ANDA.
I don't see that going up immediately, but eventually when we have a number of molecules goes into the approvals and the supplies, so then that will come. I think it will be 24th time frame, maybe the right one. But if it comes earlier than that, it will be a great thing. But right now, I can't tell that.
But is it? I mean, are you satisfied with the pace at which the ANDA business is growing?
I mean, there is nothing like nothing will be satisfying, right? For anybody, for that matter, for any business for that matter. But you have to go by what your business model is, what your capabilities are, what your product selection is, and what the timelines it takes. All those things comes into the picture. But when we are given a 4-year, 5-year time frame, we need to wait. It cannot be quarter-on-quarter basis. I will answer the same question saying that yes, I can prepone it and all that stuff. Unless something comes under the table, I cannot tell that. So this is my problem.
Got it, sir. Best wishes. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I now hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments.
Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in for all the updates on the Q1 results. As I said, we are having challenges, but we are circumventing those challenges and keep on going and hope this, whatever the additional cost that has happened will come down, and the logistics and the price increases in the transportation will come down. And moreover, the COVID situation will be much better for us to travel and meet the customer face to face, and also the customers to choose the new areas of activity other than the COVID itself. That will give you a long-term growth for the long-term perspective. With this, I hope I have answered you all your questions, and I'll talk to you after the Q2 results. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Suven Pharmaceuticals, that concludes this conference call. We thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.